we decided to take a trip down to Orlando to check out the local birding photography scene, maybe catch the SpaceX launch if we were lucky, and of course see family too while we were there. Fresh off the plane, we made our way to Space Coast. SpaceX had delayed the launch and was trying again the night we had arrived. We decided to set up at Port Canaveral at the Jetty Park Pier. Once at our spot, though, the wind was pretty fierce. It wasn't a perfect sight. We couldn't see the launch pad, but we did see the VAB in the distance, and we figured a second or two into the launch we'd have a good view. It was still much different than when we had photographed the Space Shuttle STS launches several years ago. As we had feared, the launch was off and they'd have to try again. Disappointed, but still happy we had a great afternoon and evening at the beach, we rode home. The next day we took it easy. We slept in and then visited a great little historic site called Fort Christmas in Christmas, Florida. It's a full-size replica of the original fort built in 1837 during the Second Seminole War. This well-maintained site was a pleasure to walk through while looking at all the great artifacts. And SpaceX was going to try another launch this evening, but decided to just cancel for a week this time. The next day we visited the Orlando Wetlands Park. This man-made location filters out the final step of the City of Orlando Public Works wastewater, and they were very excited about the project. Each cell that you see here treats the water from the entry point at the bottom left to monitoring and exit back to the waterways via the top right. This great place is home to a bunch of different plants and animals. I also really need to give a shout out to a great birding photographer and YouTube creator, Mark Smith. We've been fans of his for a while, and when I reached out to him, he was kind enough to suggest this location and also tomorrow's location. I'll put a link to his channel in the description, and I highly recommend you check him out and subscribe. You won't be disappointed. This site seemed to have it all, and we rode the volunteer tram they offer for free on Fridays and Saturdays. When we arrived back at the visitor center, the next tram only had 2 people, and we went back out again. We saw new things both times we rode. Like these osprey. I believe this one's is a great egret. And we came around one corner and found this guy staring at us, and we got out to get a little bit of better shot. I'm going to call out the official names of birds as I believe I know them. A lot of them I don't, and if I'm incorrect, go ahead and correct me. It's a tricolor heron. I was afraid I wasn't going to get a spoonbill, and I did, although he was really far away. These crazy looking ducks. I'm pretty sure from that photo that's a great blue heron. These cute bald-headed baby ducks. This is a stork, and he's got a siren in his mouth. It's like a salamander with arms. And of course, this great egret is checking out the excitement. Here's another great egret that we found, and he found himself a tasty snack. And it was just fascinating watching him try to move this snake around and get the head first. He put him down a few times, he flipped him around a few times, and just couldn't manage to make it happen. I flipped from stills to video on my Nikon D850 and just grabbed a little bit of video footage here. After a while, he finally did manage to get the head up top, and this snake exactly where he wanted it. After he swallowed a little bit, he flew away, decided it was time to end the show, and I don't know what happened to the snake, although I'm pretty sure probably nothing good. I believe this is a limpkin, which is apparently a very popular bird down there. Plenty of dragonflies. If you like dragonflies, this is your place to be. Another one of those crazy ducks in silhouette. A snowy egret. I was told that the yellow on the beak and the legs is the way to identify those versus a great or cattle egret. All in all, the Orlando Wetlands Park was an amazing place, and I'm really thankful for Mark for sharing it. It's something that I probably wouldn't have checked out. Oh, it's a part of a wastewater treatment facility, and I wouldn't have thought there'd be anything good there to see. And I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to check it out. Lake Apopka Wildlife Drive was another recommendation from Mark, and in the first 10 minutes, we saw more birds than on our best entire day at any of our locations up in Maryland. The camera I used was a Nikon D850 with a 200 to 500 f/6 lens. Now, with my Canon system, I used to use a 400-28 IS, and I just haven't had a reason to pick that up for the Nikon system yet. This great blue heron here, we kind of spooked him when we got a little closer, and as he flew away, you'll actually see an alligator try to pluck him out of the sky. I guess it happens pretty often because he doesn't seem to be bothered by it one bit. Red-winged blackbirds. We have them in Maryland, and they're sneaky. They'll pose nice for you, and as soon as you lift your camera up, they usually fly away. This osprey was enjoying a tasty fish when another car came up beside us, and he was spooked and unfortunately carried it a little bit and dropped it. Sorry, buddy. This is my favorite image of the entire trip, a tricolor heron, and I wish I was zoomed out just a little bit. I was lucky enough to get that capture without encroaching on any of the sides. This might be the same osprey, not sure. This is a green heron from the research that I did online. And that's about it for our journey. We stayed in Florida for a few more days and enjoyed spending it with family. After a quick flight, we were back home in Maryland. I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. If you liked the video, please hit like, and if you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button and you'll get notified of future content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.